It's your girl, Lady Mocha. You know I'm always going to pour you a cup of truth, and I'm always going to break you off a slice of knowledge. Hello and good evening. Thank all of you for stopping by to Cafe de Paris. I see that you decided to stop by my diner this afternoon to have a little brunch with me. I want to thank all of you for stopping in to hang out with your girl, me, Lady Mocha. I know that it has been trending all over social media, all over your local news, honey. And I know that a lot of these hyenas, a lot of these welfare recipients, honey, I know they are going ham right about now, honey, because in a few minutes ain't gonna be no steak, ain't gonna be no shrimp. It's gonna be canned pork, boxed cheese, generic cereal, pasta, beans, peanut butter. I don't know about y'all from back in the days, but I remember way back in the days when they was giving out government cheese, they would give these boxes to families that were in need, that was in poverty. They would give them boxes of food that had the no-name brand peanut butter. It didn't say Jif, it didn't say Skippy, it didn't say Reese's peanut butter. It didn't say none of that. It just said peanut butter. There was no Frosted Flakes. There was no Honey Nut Cheerios. There was no Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It just said cereal. Okay. Basically, Trump has decided that, you know what, I'm tired of these heifers sitting on their lazy asses. Oh no, I'm gonna make it hard for y'all. Ain't gonna be no more steak and shrimp no time soon, okay? Little JoJo not gonna be able to get his little Huggy Juices, his little Debbie snacks, his little Oreo cookies, Nutter Butters. You know, the Trump is about to shut it all down, okay? Well, he's actually in process. It has to be, it's some protocols basically that got to be made. You know, unfortunately, it's not just that cut and dry where he can just go up the other day and say, okay, for now on, starting today, from here on out, everybody could just cut up their EPT cards. Starting next week, whoever needs food, fill out your applications online or whatever, and once a week we'll start sending you some second harvest boxes or whatever the hell they call them. Yeah, America's Harvest boxes. We'll start issuing them out, debbying them out once a month or whatever. It's not that cut and dry, even though I know a lot of people is just rooting for it, and believe me, I'm with y'all, but it's not that cut and dry. It actually has to be passed from the House and the Senate, okay, which means it's kind of like the power imbalance. And this is the one thing that I do like about history, that I do like the way our forefathers structured the governmental system. Basically, the way our governmental system is structured, our forefathers was very brilliant to be in the 1600s, 1700s with no access to internet, no access to smartphones. None of that stuff even existed during that time, but they were smart enough to fix it to where there was what it was called a checks and balances system, to where no government has no more power than the other, okay, which basically means even if the president wants to decide today to change or to come up with a new policy, to come up with a new law, he can't just sign off on something and it happens. It's different avenues that has to be taken, and basically the House and the Senate has to be on the same accord. They basically have to be on board with whatever changes he wants to implement or make when it comes to the governmental system, okay? So on that note, like I said, it's going to be a process, it's going to be a procedure. It's nothing he can just up and do right away. However, a lot of these recipients and these receivers that are obtaining these benefits, they don't need to be hibernating. They don't need to be resting well, because this is just a taste of what can possibly go wrong. And I hate that our black people are not really interested in politics. They're not really interested in learning anything about the governmental system down to the legislation, jurisdiction. You know, they're not interested in learning about the law. They're not interested in how the governmental system is structured and how it operates. And believe me, I used to sleep a lot in history class. None of that stuff bothered me. But what you have to realize is how the governmental system is structured. It does affect us. It affects you if you're working. It affects you if you're not working. It does play a big role in how the law decides and how the government decides, you know, how we'll survive basically in this country. So on that note, a lot of people need to take heed, and even though this is going to be a process, because the way I look at it is, you know, with him trying to propose this new idea that he has came up with, is not going to be that simple, due to the simple fact he's talking about issuing out meal kits. My thing is, okay, those who work for SNAP, those who work, all of these caseworkers, all of these directors, these are their jobs. That's how these people make a living. Issuing food stamps, issuing governmental assistance and things of that nature. This is how they work, by providing assistance to the needy. And not everybody's needy. Some of y'all just damn greedy, because a lot of y'all getting these benefits and don't even need them. So it's going to not only, I don't think he's really taking into consideration that it's not just the stamps. It's people who work to provide these stamps. Not only that, the grocery stores are going to suffer. You know, they're not going to get the same amount of money, because let's face it, groceries is high as hell. People with that's paying out of pocket could barely afford groceries. So the grocery store, the grocery store marketing is going to suffer, unfortunately. The other thing was, we already know these recipients are going to suffer, and I'm not concerned. I don't want nobody by any means to think that I'm sympathizing with those who are on the welfare system. I'm not sympathizing for these low common denominator hood rats that are sitting down, laying on their back, collecting paychecks from child support and collecting food stamps. It's not benefits, and not working, not going to school. I don't sympathize with them. Those are the ones that they need to be targeting. I'm concerned about the senior citizens. I'm concerned about the ones who are disabled, who are wheelchair bound, who have medical issues, who have physical defects that are hindering them from being able to go out there and work and feed themselves. Those are the ones I'm more concerned about, because we have senior citizens who cannot work, and who were working individuals who did work for years, and just so happen life gets in the way, start experiencing all type of problems as you age, mentally, physically, and you know, just life, as you age, life brings about changes to where you cannot work. You know, you 70, 80 years old, you can't do the same type of work you was able to do when you was 20, 30 years old. That's who I'm concerned about. And another thing that's a lot that our president is not taking into consideration is that, how are all of these homes, does he realize how many people are in poverty in the United States, in poor families that are below low income? How is he going to be able to provide these needy families? I said needy, not greedy. These needy families, how are they going to be able to have access to get all of these so-called meal kits? Who's going to bring these meal kits to their address? Okay, another issue is, all right, the type of food that's going to be put in the meal kits. Some people are on special diets, especially when it comes to these senior citizens. They have to have sugar-free items. Some of them can't eat. Some people are allergic to peanut butter. Some people are allergic to peas, beans. There's so many factors to consider as far as America's harvest box distribution. You know, who the hell is going to make sure, you know, all of these people are getting the correct meals that are appropriate based on their medical conditions, based on their particular diet supplements? Well, how's all of that going to work? You know, it's more to it than just, okay, we're going to abrupt and stop these stamps. It's just too much that has to be considered. You know, that's somebody has to load all these meals in a truck. They have to go from project housing to project housing to issue all of these meals out. You know, it's just, to me, it's like dealing with a needle in a haystack. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but this is my point that I'm doing this video, basically, okay? My thing is, you women that are on the system, you females that have been taking advantage of the system with the SNAP, with the welfare, with the food stamps, this is my concern for y'all. Okay, I know a lot of y'all hear this stuff. The majority of y'all not even educated enough to even take it that serious, for one. So I get it. A lot of y'all don't even keep up with the news. Y'all don't keep up with CNN. Y'all don't keep up with anything that has to do with politics. Okay, the only time y'all take something serious is when y'all get a letter in y'all mailbox stating that starting June 2018, you will no longer be able to obtain food through your EPT card. From now on, you're going to have to go online, register for America's Harvest Box. You're going to have to put in all your information. See, a lot of them are not going to take it serious till they get down to that point. Okay, until they get that letter, a lot of them are just going to keep doing what they do. They're going to keep selling their stamps, going to Walmart, buying groceries, doing this, doing that. They're oblivious to what the hell is going on, because a lot of times you're going to be oblivious if you're not educated, because as long as you don't know anything, there's nothing for you to have to worry about. So a lot of them are not worried just because they just don't give a damn. A lot of them ain't educated enough to even know how serious it can get. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them, I don't blame them for being nonchalant or being ignorant. You can't take something seriously that you have no knowledge, that you have no awareness of. It's no difference than, you know, a person who's walking around here with the package and know they HIV positive, and they haven't been checked. They haven't been going to see the doctor, so they don't know they have it. So they're around here giving it to this person and that person, and basically they're not doing it on purpose. They don't even know that they are HIV infected, because they have not done what they needed to do in order to keep up with their health, to be educated, and to be made aware of what's going on with their health. And that's basically the same thing with this food stamps. I don't blame a lot of, I can't get even mad with these girls, because a lot of them barely got a high school degree. You know, a lot of them never been to college. A lot of them don't even got GEDs. They don't have none of that stuff, because a lot of them, they have become confined with depending on the government, And this is going to be the next issue. This is why it's very imperative that all of you who are receiving these benefits, welfare, food stamps, Medicaid, whatever you are receiving, y'all are not realizing your lives are in the hand of the government. Y'all, whenever you get these benefits, you are giving the government so much authority and so much power over your life. I know right now you think you're getting by because every month that balance is hitting the EPT card. Every month you get your child support from this baby daddy, from that baby daddy. I mean, right now, you know, you chilling. You in housing. You get your Netflix. That's only $10, $11 a month. You feel like you're getting by. But what you're not understanding is, this is the thing about depending on people, okay? Let's even break it down on a smaller level. If you're not working, this is just an example. If you're not working and you're depending, if you're not working and you're depending on a man to take care of you, that is your only source. That is your only provider. You have no job. You have no degrees. You have no education. Do you really realize how at stake your life is? Because this man could walk out in any given moment and say, I don't want to take care of you. I don't want to provide for you. You stuck. You are in trouble. You know why? Because you gave him so much power by being codependent on him taking care of you. And that is the same way the government works. A lot of y'all, these hyenas, a lot of these female recipients, and I'm not going to say every woman that's on welfare is a hyena, because some of y'all are handling your business. You know this is only temporary. You working, you going to school, you're using this as a stepping stone. I've been on welfare before. Believe me, I get it. I stayed on welfare until I got my bachelor's degree. Once I got my bachelor's, I didn't need it. It was just something to get me to where I was going, because I know I couldn't depend on it wholeheartedly and heavily. But so everybody, there's a difference between welfare recipients and hyenas. Welfare recipients are just depending on it just for the moment, and they're not just using it as a crutch. They're making moves while they're receiving those benefits. They're going to school, they got a job, they handling their business, because they know at some point in time they're going to have to let go of those benefits so they can focus on their career and being able to provide. Now, for you hyenas that want to make welfare living a full-time career, what y'all are not understanding is y'all are giving the government so much authority and so much power over your life, which means Trump within a month or two. And for y'all that's sleeping on it, y'all can't underestimate anything these days. Don't never be too sure and think it can't happen. Y'all are sleeping on it, and what's going to happen is the day he pull a rug from up under your foot and you get that letter in your mailbox, a lot of y'all are going to lose your mind. I'm telling you, when the day comes when Trump gets ready to shut it down, the clinics and the hospitals are going to be crowded, because it's going to be a lot of and psychiatric centers are going to be booked, because there's going to be a lot of hyenas that's going to lose their goddamn mind because they don't believe it. And when you stay in denial about something and it hits you, you are devastated. And I'm afraid that's just what's going to happen. You know, these women that are receiving these hyenas, or these females that are receiving these benefits, they keep blowing it off because a lot of them are not educated enough to understand how the system works. These people can change the rules anytime they want. They make the rules as they go. And for those of you who don't believe it, what's going to happen is they're going to start tightening the leash on y'all that are receiving these benefits. It's going to become harder and harder and harder to receive these benefits. They're going to want you to start, you know, providing documentation, because back in the day all they used to do was, when you want to get welfare benefits, all you had to do was they'll give you a sheet of paper, and the paper asks you, where did you go to look for a job? You'll just make up a place that you went to, no, you ain't went, or you'll go pick up an application and fill it out and never turn it in. The system never really had a structure to where they could really keep up with these women looking for jobs and trying to really better themselves. So a lot of women have faked their way through receiving these benefits and not have really followed any of the protocols, any of the procedures that welfare basically had designed for them to do in order for them to keep following, in order for them to keep receiving the benefits. So a lot of them have just kind of played and lied their ways through the system, make it like they're looking for a job, make it like, yeah, I picked up some applications, but yeah, that don't mean you turned them in. So the system has never really had a solid way of being able to detect if these women are really doing what they're supposed to do as the system has structured them. But what y'all have to realize is we have a president now that has no sympathy for poor folks, okay? Because he cannot relate to our struggle. And anytime you have somebody over you that cannot relate to the struggle, they have no problem taking things away from you. Only people who kind of been in the struggle kind of understand, like President Obama. He was a child, a young black young man who knew what it was like to have to struggle, you know, with his family struggling getting groceries. I mean, he'd been in the struggle with us, so he was able to kind of make laws and make policies that benefited those who were in the struggle, because he was in the struggle. But the game has changed, ladies and gentlemen, especially you ladies. Y'all not realizing the game has changed, because we have somebody in authority over this country that has never struggled, that don't know what it's like to go without. And whenever you have somebody in authority over you that can't relate to your struggle, keep in mind, they're going to pull a rug from up under your foot. It's as simple as that. My thing is this. I feel like if it don't happen right away, it's definitely going to happen soon. It's definitely going to happen soon. I know a lot of y'all think the president is selling wolf tickets, but y'all need not to underestimate it, because they already done tightened up on Section 8. They tightened up on a lot of things around here, you know. And the only bad part I hate about this is if it ever gets to that point, the majority of these females that are receiving these benefits, they're still not going to learn. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go right down to child support and ask for an increase. That's the thing about it. It's not going to motivate these women to do any better. And then the sad part is a lot of them are going to get upset because they have become so spoiled by the government providing and giving that the moment the government takes stuff away, the majority of them going to have an attitude. They're going to be in their feelings like, how dare you take away my stamps? I got to feed these kids like the government was the one that got them pregnant. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of these hyenas have depended on the government to be their baby daddy. You're supposed to take care of me. I need some money. When you going to give me some groceries? When you going to give me some, you know, when you going to do this? When you going to do that? And that is the dangerous part, ladies. All y'all that has learned to make welfare and housing a full-time career. Get ready, because your president is getting ready to pull a rug from up under your foot. And y'all are going to be very disappointed. A lot of y'all going to be lost because a lot of y'all are not educated. A lot of y'all don't even know, have any real survival skills. A lot of y'all don't even know how to go out there and fill out applications and stuff to get, fill out leasing applications to fill out a lease to get an apartment. So a lot of girls that don't know how to do that. I remember I heard a girl one time, because the last time Trump, you know, the president brought this to our attention about getting ready to take away housing and stuff. And I remember I heard a young lady said, she was like, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I lose my housing, because I don't even know I don't even know what a deposit is. She didn't know what a deposit is. Her friend said, you don't know what a deposit is? She said, no, what is a deposit? She said, that's the money you got to actually put down. You got to put down first month, last month rent. The girl was shocked. She didn't even know what a deposit was. You know why? Because, again, the system is not educating these females. They're just providing and giving them assistance, but they're not educating them and giving them the tools or as to giving them the things they need so they don't have to depend on a system. That's the problem. That's the main problem with the system. Welfare system keeps giving these females assistance, but they're not giving them the education so they don't have to keep depending on this assistance. That is the demon that we're dealing with right now. And that's why a lot of these young women would not go out there and work, will not go out there and look for a job, will not go to college, because the system has made it easy for them to be able to get these benefits and not have to put any work. Now, I guarantee you, if the system fixed it and changed the laws and told these women, if you still want benefits, you got to go to school. I mean, literally go to school, not just fill out no college application. You got to go to school and you got to work 20, 30 hours. I guarantee you, half of them wouldn't even want them benefits. They wouldn't even want it. They wouldn't even want it. Because I remember one time when I was in housing, we would have to go to housing and quarterly meetings, and they would put a lot of the women that was in housing at the time, they would put them on with the programs that was out there. And I remember they had a special program for mothers, mothers with low income who wanted to get back into school. They actually was going to give them some type of vouchers or some type of financial assistance to get back in school. Now, keep in mind, I didn't sign up for it because I was already going to Savannah Tech getting my associates. So I was already getting my FAFSA for my financial aid assistance, so I really didn't need it. But I still showed up to the meeting just to see what they had to offer. Don't you know a lot of them in the meeting had an attitude like, why are they even telling us this? We don't care about this. I mean, they was just disinterested. They had no interest. They had no type of compassion and really trying to no real passion or no real drive, that's the word, and learning and trying to better themselves. A lot of them was rolling their eyes like, you know, they was sitting through a meeting. You know, they wasn't even asking any questions. They wasn't interacting. They just did that. They had no interest, because you know why? The government has already given them what they need. So basically, what's the purpose of trying to better ourselves? What's the purpose of trying to learn anything new? Only thing I'm concerned about is when I check my EPT card, I want to make sure my Money is on there. And the only bad part I hate is if it ever comes to this point, these hyenas are just going to go ask for increase in child support. I will be glad for the day that the president or the House, the Senate does something about these child support laws, because the way these child support laws are structured are ridiculous. I think it makes no sense for a man's license to be suspended because he falls on some hard times and he can't pay his child support. That's ridiculous. It has to be other ways where they could penalize these men who are not paying. You can't take away the man's license. How the hell he gonna work to pay for, you know, to put money on his child books? I just don't like how it's structured. And then I hate the fact that some of these women make just as much money as the men, and they won't split the income down the middle. They used to do that. I don't know why child support doesn't do that anymore, but they used to split the income down the middle, where the father and a mother both had a responsibility. It wasn't no man paying the whole amount while she sits back. And for women who didn't work, they made sure that they did work, you know. So really, when it comes to law, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be exactly the way any of us really wants it. But it's just something we definitely have to keep in mind. But anyway, I just really felt it was imperative that I share this message with you guys, this recipe with you guys and you ladies today on Trump getting ready to pull a new stunt on y'all. He's getting ready to he's looking into getting the House and the Senate and the rest of the government on board with issuing out these meal kits. So y'all better be ready for all of y'all who have gotten comfortable and have gotten complacent with depending on the system. Your president is getting ready to pull a rug from up under your foot. But anyway, what do you guys think of this? Do y'all think it's really going to go into fruition? What do you think the problems are going to be if the president decides to really go into action with this plan? What do you think the problems and the obstacles are going to be? Because me personally, I don't think it's that cut and dry. Or do you really believe that he's really going to shut it down? But I don't think it's going to be right away, but I know it's coming. But anyway, I would like to get y'all perspective on it. I would like to get y'all feedback on that. And guys, how do you think the change is going to affect y'all as far as child support? I mean, I would really like to get y'all input as well. But anyway, this is your girl, Lady Mocha. I'm going to be signing off at Cafe de Paris, where you know I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I will always break you off a slice of knowledge.
Who is this? Who is this?
I'm Joe Stanford.
Stanford.
Hey,
No.
what's up, Jay?
You love the show, right?
Yes, I do.
Now, how do you do it, Joe? How do you do it? How can you do it?
I be lying.